Okay, and we are live. Welcome back to the channel, guys. We have even more news to react to tonight. Plenty of things have come out, so it's good to see everybody in with us tonight. So on today's show, we will be covering, of course, the latest updates on the Manchester United takeover with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, rumoured to be considering pulling out. According to Bloomberg, his bid is dead in the water. It does not look good for Radcliffe. Of course, we have a here we go on Mason Mount and Andre Onana. We are attempting to put in a bid very, very soon. So it's good to see everybody with us. I can see Big T is down there as well. Following along from the reports that the budget is 120 million. That leaves around 60 million to buy a striker and a goalkeeper. How are we going to do this? I think the way we're going to do this is we're probably going to do what we have been doing for a long time and what the likes of Chelsea have done. We will try to spread out the deals, we'll try to spread out the pay packages, and I think that's how we will achieve this. So let's get talking takeover. That's a big one tonight. Of course, the biggest story going on with Manchester United at the moment. So Bloomberg earlier today reported minority shareholders in Manchester United sent a letter to the Glazer family telling them that they will not accept Radcliffe's offer and that there could be a court case as well. The Glazers could be sued if they try to take that offer. It's a very difficult deal to do if you are Jim Ratcliffe, if you are the Glazer family, because it isn't just contingent on buying the Glazer shares, it's also contingent on buying up everybody else's shares. The minority holders do have a lot of power in this as well. And as well as this, we can see from Bloomberg as well, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid, it is to buy Manchester United is absolutely dead in the window. Cody is saying, is the Sabitzer going to stay? I do not think so. And Yusuf is down there as well. Good to see, man. For this window, it is enough as well. So we are running a poll. So I'm asking you guys, based on the current transfer rumours, where we currently are, the players being linked most heavily, will Mount, Onana and Hojlund be enough for next season? So the options are yes, no, and sales are needed. I do think we will need to bring players in. I do think we will have to do that, of course. But I do think in terms of incomings, we'll probably spread the payments out and we'll try to make our budget stretch as far as possible. So let's talk the big one. Let's get talking about this takeover, because yesterday, of course, we had big reports coming out from Bloomberg. When Bloomberg and when Reuters speak, we basically listen, because this is tier one for your business, for your finance sort of news. And when they do speak, we kind of listen. We have to see what they're saying. So, of course, Reuters several weeks ago, first of all, they came out with the story that Sheikh Tassim was feeling confident that they were in the lead. Now, yesterday, very interestingly, Bloomberg came out with a report and they said, basically, Sheikh Tassim thinks he has victory, that the Qataris think they have won this takeover race. And now, all of a sudden, we have today coming from Bloomberg, the exact same outlet, and they are saying, of course, that Jim Ratcliffe's bid could be as good as dead in the water. So it definitely isn't looking good for Radcliffe. It does look like the Qataris are definitely in the driving seat for this takeover. It could be happening. It could be hopefully a very quick deal to wrap up. I'm praying so as well. Rajat's down there. Good to see you, man. Don't really want Onana, and good deal for Mount. I know a lot of guys, some people are hesitant on Onana, but I think Onana will be brilliant for Manchester United. But let's talk this takeover. Let's get into the details, because for weeks upon weeks, guys, we have been waiting for the progress that we've been craving. We've been craving to see things moving on. We're finally getting there now. So yesterday, big report from Bloomberg. They said, of course, that the Qataris think they have victory. I think that is absolutely massive, because when Bloomberg speak, when Reuters speak, they're basically telling the guys who are investing with them, who they are partnered with, all these investment firms, that they believe that a deal will be done very quickly, that they think Manchester United will be sold to the Qataris and not Radcliffe. So I do think that means, all things considered, we are heading toward the end of this very long, very drawn out takeover process. I am sure you guys are really looking forward to it. Figor is down there saying we need more signings, especially in our attack. Thank you very much for that one, man. I do think we will get those players. We are seeing links to Manchester United for some younger players, maybe for some experienced players. We will see what we will do in the market. I do think we will have more than 3 players come in. But I do think a lot of that will come down to our budget, how we can negotiate. This Mount deal, it has been expensive, make no doubt about it, but I'm happy with the signing, no doubt about that as well. So let's get back to the main point of conversation, the main piece of news that we do have. So, of course, this is all coming from Reuters is coming from Bloomberg. We want to listen to these guys when they are speaking, so I am feeling very positive, all things considered, on the takeover. For the first time in a very, very long time, we can really see Manchester United moving forward in this takeover. It has been a long time coming, but it finally is here. We are making the progress, we are seeing things happening, and it looks like the Glazer family will be going hopefully very soon. The sooner the better, of course, in my opinion. I cannot wait to get those guys out of our football club. I'm sure you guys can't either. So I'm feeling very positive with the overall takeover progress. I think if Radcliffe is looking unlikely, if it does look like it isn't going to happen, I think that's going to speed up the process. I think the Qataris are looking very strong right now. Everything has changed. I remember 2 weeks ago we were sitting around this time and we were saying that Sheikh Jassim had put in his final offer. He was threatening to walk away, and it looked like Radcliffe had the takeover race done. All of a sudden, everything has changed. Everything has changed with this takeover. All of a sudden, now the Qataris are the ones in the driving seat. Now we are seeing Radcliffe talking about walking away. So I think we are looking at a likely Qatari takeover. I've been feeling this way for a long time, and I'm feeling like this is going to happen. There is no doubt in my mind about it. So let's cast our mind back to what Bloomberg had said yesterday. So they had said the inner circle of the Qatari bid have begun communicating their confidence of victory and believe it is only a matter of time. In terms of what we have on from today, very interestingly, we have Qatari confidence yesterday, and today we have Radcliffe losing confidence. Radcliffe potentially having his bid dead in the water. Big statement for someone like Bloomberg to make, and they have to be accurate with their reporting. They have to be really good with what they're saying as well. So let me see as well who we got in the comments. Brian is down there saying a wide range of creativity, Bruno and Ericsson, unlike before with McTominay and Fred. Yep, absolutely. Thank you, man. Kande is down there saying Onana is the best. And Big T saying also reported Avram and Joel want to remain and are stalling the sale. Yes, as well. That is a well-reported fact. Absolutely no doubt about it. Now, we've been saying for a long time there has been a split in the Glazer family. This is what Radcliffe was trying to take advantage of. He was trying to buy up the shares of the other Glazer siblings, the ones he did want to sell. And with that, he would then have a majority, and then he would buy up the minority investors, keep Joel and Avram on, and that would be Radcliffe's plan. And eventually he would look to buy out both Joel and Avram from their shares. Unfortunately, I think a lot of that has changed on threat of legal action coming in from minority shareholders who want to sell the stocks at their own price in their entirety. I think that has completely changed things for this deal. Obviously, a lot of things have been dependent on it. As Big T has very rightly said, we were talking stalling from both Joel and Avram. Now we're looking at stalling from minority shareholders, and they're looking at Qatari sale. Let me see as well who we got in the comments. Rajat says, I want Ramos or Hojlund. I would love either of those players, man. Two very good ones as well. And Cody says, obviously, honestly, I would prefer De Gea for another year with lower wages. Used to 45 and 55. We would pay for Onana and buy a solid holding defensive midfielder for Casemiro and a higher price striker. Thank you very much for that one as well. I think all things considered, the window at the moment, we're looking Onana, Mount and Hojlund. I think that is the most likely. Obviously, everything can change. Absolutely everything can change. Do I believe if Harry Kane suddenly becomes available, United will not be trying to pursue that deal? Absolutely we will. We will definitely try to pursue that, in my opinion. So you guys are right in saying that a lot of things are subject to change. One thing that I am feeling very confident on is Manchester United. We are progressing in all aspects now. At long last, we have our very first here we go of the season, the very first player coming in of the second season for Erik ten Hag, and that will be Mason Mount. As well as that, we are seeing Onana, stronger links every single day. It does look like something is going down there, and it can happen very soon. And as well as that, of course, we are finally seeing the long-awaited takeover progress, the long-awaited updates, the progression heading towards a seal, and that's what we've wanted to see for a very long time. Who else have we got in the comments? Brian is saying the Rain Group shouldn't be allowed anywhere in the future of Football Matters, the Field Milan and others. Absolutely, I do agree. We need to keep finance, we need to keep business out of football. It should be a sport. United, as we know, we have not been a football club for a very long time. So I asked you guys last night, and I thought it was an interesting question. It was, what would you guys want to see any new owner do first? Would it be a new stadium, new training grounds? Would you guys like to see squad investment, or would you rather see a new board of directors, new people in charge of the club? And pretty much everybody went in terms of investment in the team, and then they went as well for a new board, a new guys running the club. Bright ideas, competent people in positions. That's what we do want to see. Let me see as well. Clinton is down there saying Mount is a good deal. Now we're waking up in matters of transfers. Yes, thank you very much. It has taken a long time, but we are finally moving. But I can see a debate going on in the comments, guys, and it's around Mason Mount. So Mason Mount, as we know, we have the official Here We Go from Romano. We have, of course, David Ornstein with his exclusive that dropped this afternoon. Manchester United have agreed a fee for Mason Mount, and I was worried about it. I thought we would cave to Chelsea. We would give them exactly what they wanted. But I think what United have done is a smart sort of deal where we have said we will give you the add-ons we were going to pay you, and then we will give you some very difficult add-ons to achieve. It's £5 million extra. Those £5 million in add-ons are going to be if United win a Premier League or a Champions League. So if United win that, we won't mind too much paying another £5 million. Big T says Casemiro will not play every game. We need another centre defensive midfielder. Well, in terms of CDMs and number sixes, we do have links today to a very young player coming in. I believe it's from Benfica. We're talking Neves. He's 18 or 19, has played quite a few matches for Benfica last season. Does look to be a promising player. That might be the option that we go for. Maybe we go for a younger type midfielder to come in alongside Casemiro, and that could be a nice sort of backup who can drop in for other matches as well. And of course, a lot of it does depend on sales. Everybody is saying, Casemiro, we need cover for him. I completely agree. We need to see that sort of investment. That's what we want to see. We want to see Manchester United with genuine options in midfield. But I can see some people are joining in. So let's have a look at this takeover in some more detail, because a long time we have waited for any real updates. A long, long time we have wanted to see some sort of progress. And I think it is very good that we're finally getting there. So this is coming from Bloomberg, as reliable as it gets in terms of finance, in terms of stock market exchanges, everything like that. So they have basically said the structure of the deal proposed by Jim Ratcliffe has drawn a lot of opposition from Manchester United minority shareholders. I think that's completely understandable. The Glazers are talking about selling their shares, and there was no real deal or anything discussed for what would happen with minority shareholders. So I do think it's good that we're seeing that sort of overall progress, and there does seem to be opposition from minority shareholders. They definitely hold considerable power in all this because it's their shares as well. They have every right to sell those shares to who they want. They've every right. That is one of the absolute laws of the actual stock market. They can buy and sell as and when they please, so long as there is someone to pay for them. Let me see as well. There's loads of comments flying in here, so it's great to see everybody on here tonight. Rajat says 3 players will not get us out of the group. I do agree. I think we need more players. I think United are in a position where we have 3 players coming in. I would say they're certain, as close to certain as we can get, maybe, in terms of links, and that will be Onana, it will be Mount, and it will be a striker. And the striker seems to be, it's going to be Hojlund. I would love it if it was Haaland, sorry. But yeah, I do think that is most likely for our summer transfer window. In terms of sales, I do think we will see some sales come in as well. Interestingly enough, now I think this does cast a real picture on what's happening with David De Gea's contract and where David De Gea is going to be playing football next season, is that Tom Heaton was blocked from joining Luton Town today. Manchester United, we are all but ready to sell Dean Henderson to Nottingham Forest. So there is one deal done for a goalkeeper. De Gea goes. We need to bring in some more. Let's see who's down there. Clinton is saying Gonzalo Ramos is the best choice as far as striker is concerned. I would agree with that. I love Gonzalo Ramos. I think he would be perfect for this team. And Sean is down there as well. Good to see you, man. Thank you very much for joining in with us. So how do we all feel about this takeover? How do we feel about the progress we have seen over the last few days? I think it was always going to take one of the bids failing. One of the bids, as Bloomberg put it, dying in the water for this to be resolved, because when the Glazers had Radcliffe, when they had Sheikh Jassim, they were playing them off one another. It was you bid, I bid, it was an auction. They were just driving the price up and up and up. And if one goes, that's it. The game is over. We seen this a couple of weeks ago when Sheikh Jassim said he was going to walk out and no more negotiations, no more bids. I think that sent a real sign to the Glazers that the game was up. And now if Radcliffe is talking about leaving, about pulling out of the bidding process, that means for me that this whole house of cards, the whole Glazer game, it is coming to an end. And I cannot wait to see that. I think, honestly, regardless of who takes over United, we have a big advantage now. No more debt, no more ambitionless guys running the club. We will want to see better facilities for sure. Big T's down there saying minority shareholders don't want Radcliffe. Avram and Joel don't want to sell to Qatar. You want Simtech minor investment to redevelop Old Trafford instead. I mean, anything's possible, man. Anything is possible. We cannot rule it out. In the exact same Bloomberg article we did get as well, that they said there is the potential of the Glazer family looking outside investment to try stay on. Now, I think that's as much of a threat as anything, but I do not believe that is likely. And I feel that way for several reasons. Now, number one, if they go and bring in Elliott Capital Management or Apollo or some big hedge fund, they're going to be looking money out of Manchester United. They will be looking to get their hands on the golden goose as well, so to speak. So the Glazers, their dividends are going to be hit, United's profitability will be hit, and the Glazers will owe a lot of money that they will have to pay themselves to those businesses. So I do not think that they will go for that. I think it's a possibility. I think it is still on the table, but I do think that Joel and Avram will have another role to play in this, and hopefully that is them finally agreeing to sell the club. Honestly, I think a lot of this will hopefully end within the next couple of weeks. I think we will see more clarification tomorrow on terms of Radcliffe's bid, the Qatari bid. Do expect more updates from Bloomberg. If they're all over the story, 2 consecutive stories in 2 days, which we haven't seen throughout the entire takeover progress, we have to say that progress is being made. We are getting towards the end of this takeover. Hopefully we are slowly but surely making our way there. Would we have wanted this done in March? Absolutely. Would we have wanted this done in May? Yes. Or in June? But we will take it when we get it. And that is the unfortunate situation. Stephanie is down there as well. Even good to see you, Stephanie, as well. So yes, as Stephanie was saying there, we are actually running a poll for you guys. So we are saying, will Mount, Onana and Hojlund be enough next season? So that's to go on and try to win a trophy, finish top 4 and have a very good season. So let me know your thoughts on that one. I think if we add those guys into the team, we are looking at a real improvement across the board. In terms of a goalkeeper, big improvement playing out from the back. Mason Mount will be a great addition in midfield, make no mistake about that whatsoever. And I think Hojlund, we are looking at a guy who will score goals for United. Very young striker, does have inconsistencies in his game, but I do think overall he is a good player and he will improve us. Would I rather Gonzalo Ramos? Yes, I probably would. I think Ramos is ahead of where Hojlund would be in terms of his overall ability, the output he could achieve at this level, but I do think that Hojlund is probably most likely. So let me see as well. Brian is saying, any hope for Van der Sar as ED next season? I'm not too sure about that, man. We did see, actually, interestingly enough, I believe it was coming from Bloomberg as well, had said that Sheikh Jassim would like to bring in his own guys, people he trusts to run Manchester United, because as we know, the owner, they're not in the office every day, they're not overseeing everything on a day-to-day basis. So I want to see a new board brought in. That is one of the biggest things I think we need, because I've been saying it for a long time. As bad as the Glazer family are, they actually do not run Manchester United. Yes, they call the shots at the end of the day. They pick the guys who are going to be doing it. But what the Glazer family do is they have the Richard Arnolds, the Ed Woodwards, guys like that running Manchester United. And I think that is where a lot of our issues have come from as well. Let me see. There's loads of comments flying in there. So who have we got in the comments? Savi is saying, do you believe the Glazers will sell? Yes, I do think they are selling. I think we are far too long in this process. They would have left themselves open to a lot of lawsuits if they do not sell at this point. They definitely would be done for stock market manipulation. Things like that definitely would be under consideration. Let me see. Big T saying, our Bloomberg reporting who will be the next member here? I don't believe so, man. But yeah, guys, in terms of membership, just as Big T was saying, it is optional. It is actually in the chat as well. So if anybody does want to join in and support the channel that way, it would be really appreciated. Of course, no obligation whatsoever. Like, I'm not going to sit and beg for memberships and stuff like that. But it is there if anybody does want it. So thank you for pointing that out, Big T. Overall, in terms of what we do have in on other news, the big one is Mason Mount. As we know, we don't need to go through everything in detail because I'm sure you guys have seen it. I'm sure you guys are keeping up to date on the news by yourself as well. But just in terms of where we are, of course, it has emerged today. David Ornstein around 3 o'clock today said, Manchester United, we have agreed a fee for Mason Mount. 55 million plus £5 million in add-ons. That is a deal done. Now, as we know, Mount has personal terms agreed with United, so do expect that as well. And as well as that, he is getting a medical next week that is coming from Laurie Whitwell. So Mount is currently on holidays and his medical will take place next week when he returns. Non-international players are due back at Carrington on Thursday. So that is 1 week today. Do expect Mount to be in maybe Monday or Tuesday for a medical and all that good stuff. So we will definitely be seeing Mason Mount as a Manchester United player next week. So in terms of other players coming in, let's get talking about Andre Onana, because this is another deal Manchester United seem to be closing in for. So of course, Jacob Steinberg has said that Manchester United, we are ramping up the pursuit of Andre Onana. A lot of this does coincide with De Gea's contract. A lot of it does coincide as well in terms of Tom Heaton being denied a move to Luton Town. So United, we're keeping Heaton. It does look like Henderson will be sold. And as well as that, of course, it does look as well David De Gea will be leaving Manchester United. DL is saying, is De Gea leaving official tomorrow? I think we'll buy Kolo Muani as a number 9 or Qatar exclusive Osimhen in the last weeks of the transfers would be interesting. Big T's down there as well. Great job on the Bottom Bins podcast. They seem like good lads. You should invite them on here sometime. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, they are good lads. I went to school with them, so they've recently started their own podcast, and they were nice enough to invite me on. So it was good fun, and yeah, I'll definitely have those guys on here as well. Maybe we'll get a United Philosophy podcast going as well if anybody would be interested in that one. Stephanie is saying as well, we really need to hear the words there they go, the Glazers full sale only. Thank you very much for that. I would love to see that, absolutely. And Rajat is saying, bye man, no worries man, thank you very much for joining in with us and giving me, 22 minutes of your time. Honestly, support from you guys is incredible, so thank you very much for everything. So let's get talking, guys. Let's get down to the nitty gritty of all these details. Let's get talking Andre Onana, because this is an emerging story. So Romano has said the interest in Onana is very concrete. Let's see if they will bid in the next days. So it does look like Romano's feeling a bid for Onana could be coming. We are talking around about 45 million to 50 million euros, around about 40 million pounds at the bottom, up to and including 45 million pounds at the top end of a potential deal. I'm feeling confident about that, guys. Honestly, I think Onana is going to be a very big upgrade for United, and I think this is a transfer that is going in the right direction. And honestly, what a difference. Can I just say, what a difference a week makes? Because this time last week, we guys were sitting, no transfers whatsoever were happening. We had no progress on the sale. We had nothing really to look forward to. Other teams were going out and buying a lot of players, and United were sitting doing nothing. Finally, it does look like we're moving in the right direction. And Stephanie says a really good point. Onana deal makes sense. Leicester has already played with him, and hopefully it will help him settle in. I think that's a good idea. And Dan says top deal for Onana, and Rajat says I do not want Onana. So obviously a lot of debate amongst you guys. I personally think Onana will be a very good signing for United. Make no doubt about it in my mind. I think he will be a good signing for United. He will come in and improve us in a lot of areas. And as Stephanie said, playing with Lisandro Martinez will be a big benefit. And if United are going to have Onana, Varane, Martinez, Luke Shaw and Dalot as a back four next season, we will be playing out of the back so much easier, so much better at a higher level. Daz is saying as well, getting a signing done this early is refreshing. Yes, I actually think that's something we do have to point out, and I'm sure you guys have seen this stat online. Manchester United, the last time we bought a player in the month of June was Aaron Wan-Bissaka in 2019. That was the last player we bought in June. So Finally, we're starting to move. Finally, finally, finally. Satwant is down there as well, saying Gritty Glazers out. Thank you very much for that. And Dan says Onana's a better finisher than Veghorst. Honestly, man, I would probably back myself to score 2 goals in that United team in the same period as Veghorst did. I would have a go at it anyway. I probably wouldn't do too much worse. So let's get talking Onana. This is definitely a signing that looks to be happening very quickly. It looks to be United are going in with the bid. So Gazzetta from Italy have been saying Manchester United have decided to pay £50 million plus bonuses to sign Andre Onana. That does look like the goalkeeping situation being sorted at Manchester United. And we do actually have another story for you guys as well. So we want to talk. I've seen a lot of people in the chat talking backups to Casemiro, and I completely agree. Like, I really think United do need that sort of backup player. So we will be talking about that. So let me just check where it is. So this is coming from DiMarzio saying Manchester United are interested in Benfica midfielder, 18-year-old João Neves, a very highly rated young player at Benfica, a centre defensive midfielder. He could be a really good option. He really could be. And that might be the sort of deal that we go for. I do not think that we're going to be bringing in a Caicedo on top of Mount, Onana, and Hojlund. I don't think that's going to happen. I think maybe someone younger like that, maybe like a Neves, could be the option we go for. If that is to happen, I think then you're looking at having a very good young player who can come through in a couple of years' time, hopefully, and take the place of Casemiro when he does eventually leave, and we can use that to rest Casemiro. Now, do I think it's perfect? Probably not. I would prefer a more experienced option, for sure, like, make no doubt about it. If you're telling me it's João Neves from Benfica or it's Moses Caicedo, I'm taking Caicedo every day of the week. Let me see. Big T saying Onana is definitely an exciting prospect. Being able to play out from the back, plus goals and assists from Mount, is a big improvement. A striker will be the icing on a cake, and a CDM would be a bonus. Thank you very much for that one, man. And I do agree. I think that would probably be my ideal transfer window. I think I would like a centre back as well. I think we can accept that Harry Maguire will never be good enough for this club, and apologies for that, sorry. Yeah, I do think that Harry Maguire will never be good enough for this club, and what we could do is, if we sell him, bring somebody else in who will be better. That's what we want to see, and then all of a sudden, we're looking at having Onana in goals, and our centre-backs might be Lindelof, Varane, Martinez, plus somebody else, all really well suited. The back line would have a very nice amount of depth. You'd have Wan-Bissaka and Zolo at right back. We would have Luke Shaw and Malacia at left back, and then moving into midfield, I think some areas are definitely looking a little bit lighter. CDM is definitely one of them. I think we're quite well stocked in midfield because we'll have Eriksen and Mount and Bruno, probably Fred or McTominay. I think one will go. I do think that CDM position, yes, we could do with another body there. Let me see as well. Shade is down there. Murda and Arnold know their time is up at United, showing potential new owners they're competent at their jobs. Oh man. Honestly, I think getting in a proper CEO and director of football and people who know what they're doing in their job, I think that will be as important as any sort of players we could sign. Players come and go, but the board usually stays the same for a long period of time, and it's the same across the board. The ambition that we need in this team has to be brought in. If it's going to be Qatar, if it's going to be Radcliffe, it's looking far more likely to be Qatar at this moment in time. I would be saying the biggest thing I want to see is Manchester United having the ambition that we go out and we win, and that's the most important thing, that we want to win at all costs. We be a football team again. I mean, look, this is, well, it isn't a real United shirt, but I mean, you probably can see it as well. It just says Manchester United. There isn't even a football club on it. So, like, this is what we're talking. It has been a business. It has been a cash cow for the Glazer family for close to 20 years. Let's get back to it. Big T is saying if we get a centre back, Martinez can and has played at DM and can cover for Casemiro. I even think Casemiro, sorry, Wan-Bissaka with his spider legs would be a great CDM. Thank you very much for that one. I actually think if we are going to play anybody in defensive midfield, I feel like it might be Martinez, maybe. I think Lindelof perhaps could be another option, I guess, but I would prefer an out-and-out specialist defensive midfielder. That's what I do want to see. I want to see somebody come in who will be perfect to play in that role. That's what we want to see. Rajat says Wan-Bissaka not good enough to be with. Yeah, I do agree with Rajat there. I do think he's not good enough with the ball, but I think if we're going to talk really tactically about it, the kind of system we will be playing next season, when we are in possession, it will look like a back three. So we will have Martinez and Varane, and we'll have one of our fullbacks, and then we'll have another fullback pushing into midfield as well, kind of inverting. That's going to be how we're going to build up. I do think that a DM is needed, but I think we do have very, very pressing issues. Pressing issues will be goalkeeper, because De Gea will be gone tomorrow. Henderson will be sold, so we need a goalkeeper. Absolutely, make no mistake about that. And we need a striker, because at the minute, Weghorst is gone. We only have Anthony Martial, so we do need to improve in the striking positions. Ideally one, maybe even two. That's what we really want to see from United. I would like to see, honestly, if we could go out, bring in Hojlund, Mount, and Onana, that's three very good players. If we can supplement that with some younger players coming in, maybe some more experienced players, or looking at the free agent markets, I do think we can improve this team. The deals are out there to be done. There is value in it, so let's hope that we can do it. Any more thoughts, guys? Get them down into the comments. Cody is saying, I really like McTominay. I would prefer to sell Fred to Fulham and not take forever. Thank you very much for that one, man. I think one of McTominay and Fred go. Make no mistake about it. No mistake about it. So let me see as well. If we're going to talk other players coming in, of course, Hojlund is going to be one. We don't actually have anything in my notes, but Hojlund is a player that Romano this week has said United are very, very high on. United do want to see Rasmus Hojlund brought in. They're feeling that he could be a very big player in years to come. I think he could be brilliant. Cody is saying McTominay would prefer an attacking style, which is why he cannot stay. I like him, though. I mean, yeah, I like McTominay and I like Fred. I mean, I like them as players. I do not think that they're particularly great players, but I think in terms of the attitude, the work rate, we never could fault their efforts and their intensity. Let me smooth that. But I do agree. I think we do need to move on from those players, and I think McTominay and Fred going would be a real step forward for Manchester United. Now, whether or not it's feasible to do it in one season, I don't know. Lucky is saying McTominay looking to leave Aston Villa and Everton for 31 million. And a lot of guys are divided on McTominay. I think, yeah, limited player. I think he does have good assets and he does work very hard for the team. Always puts in a shift. Very physical, very, very hard-working player. And for someone like an Aston Villa, an Everton, a West Ham, he could be a perfect midfielder to come in for them. He might just not be at Manchester United's level. Big T says McTominay as a striker, he's got Scholes rocket goal in him. I mean, he does it for Scotland. I actually think he's like second top goal scorer in the actual European Championship qualifiers. I think he's got 5 goals. So, I mean, not bad. Gio is down there as well. New subscriber, hello from Belfast. Thank you very much for that, Gio Arthur. I'm actually from Lurgan. I'm sure you know it as well. So thank you very much for joining in with us. Good to have all you guys with us, of course. So welcome, of course, to the community on the channel, man. Much appreciated you joining in with us. So let me have a check here as well. I want to bring you guys the very latest. So DiMarzio has reported, now this has come out exactly 1 minute ago actually, guys. So Inter Milan's current priority is to buy a goalkeeper. They're looking at possibilities. Why do we think they're looking at a goalkeeper? They're about to sell their own. They're going to sell Onana. But I think a lot of you guys have said it, and I've said it before as well. Do you know what the worst thing to do with this Onana signing is? That he was free last year. Now we're going to pay 15 million for him, so that's disappointing. For sure. Let me see. Rajat as well. How's the new kid? And is Roy Keane from Belfast? No, Roy Keane is from Cork in the Republic of Ireland. We're not going to get political. For anyone who doesn't know, there's a whole big there's a lot of drama. So yes, Roy Keane is from Cork, of course. So let me see as well. Who else have we got in the comments? Comments flying, and actually we got Trevor saying United must get a striker. Absolutely agree. A striker will be essential for Manchester United in this transfer window. What we're going to do, I think, if we're bringing in Onana and we're bringing in Mount, we're going to have a team based for possession. We're going to make a lot of chances, dominate the ball. I think if Hojlund comes in, he gets 20 goals next season. I think if we got Harry Kane, he probably gets 35 or 40 goals next season. But it's whether or not we have the budget for that. I do think a 20-goal a season striker will improve us all. Let me see as well. Jinma says De Gea swap deal, and Ashid says Onana to Manchester United incoming. Thank you very much for all those comments. So yeah, it does look like Onana will be the next player to come in. And it looks like United are really making progress on this deal. But something I do think interesting is, why did we go for Mason Mount first? Why was he the first player we wanted to bring in? Why did we do that? The only real answer I can think of is like United have looked at it and thought that buying from a Premier League rival, buying from Chelsea would be a harder deal to complete than buying from Inter Milan, than buying from Atalanta, from buying from other clubs. And I think they might have a point on it. I think Chelsea did try to rub us off in that deal. They tried to rinse us. Unfortunately, United, we stood firm enough. We managed to get the deal done. Let me see as well. Big T says De Gea to Inter. It makes sense. I mean, it probably does. In terms of what Inter actually do as a team, they do play a very low line, so it would suit De Gea. It might be an option for him. I think if I'm David De Gea, I probably look at going back to Spain at this point in my career. The guy's 32. His wife lives in Spain. He has a family in Spain. He has children. It probably will be a good thing for him if he goes back to Spain and settles down some. Let me see as well. Dan is saying Ahmad on loan to Atalanta to lower the Hojlund deal. I would love to see that, man. Honestly, I think that would be a very smart move, because we're killing two birds with the one stone. We are getting a striker and we are guaranteeing Amad Diallo first team football next season, and that's what he needs. Ahmad is fantastic, make no mistake about it, but he will not improve at Manchester United if he's only playing one match a month or starting once a month. He does need to do that for sure. Big T says, was thinking there was a report about our credit facility resets tomorrow and that gives us 250 million available. Yep, the credit facility is around 250, 260 million pounds. That is correct. But I do believe there's something to do with financial fair play. We cannot spend all that money or something. I don't know. And Cody is saying, what Eric wants, get the man what he needs. Thank you very much for that one. So, for anybody who has just joined us, who is looking to know about the takeover, where we currently stand, so we do have a big update coming from Bloomberg today. So Bloomberg yesterday, they went out, they spoke, and they said Sheikh Jassim feeling very confident of victory. He thinks he has won the takeover race. Today, they have said, of course, minority shareholders in Manchester United sent a letter to the Glazer family telling them they will sue if they accept Radcliffe's offer. Sir Jim's bid to buy Manchester United is absolutely dead in the water, according to Bloomberg as well. So that does look very good if you are a Qatari in. If you want Sheikh Jassim as the owner, I'm sure you're feeling very, very happy right now. Let me see as well. Big T is down there. Swap Sancho for Hojlund. We could do. And LDG says United should hijack Timber from Arsenal. I would love us to do it. I would absolutely love to see Manchester United do it. It's whether or not we go for it immediately. I don't know. Timber is brilliant. Like, honestly, he is such a great, great player, and I would love him at Manchester United. Any more thoughts, guys? Let me know in the comments. And as well as that, if you have not voted, we are running a poll as well. So we are asking you guys, will Mount, Onana, and Hojlund be enough for Man United this transfer window? The options are yes, no, and we need sealed. So let me know your thoughts on the polls, and any more thoughts as well. Get them into the comments, guys. Of course, we always do read through the comments throughout the show. It's always interactive with you guys. Absolutely love talking to you guys pretty much every night. I mean, it's what makes it all worthwhile doing. So let me see as well, guys. An interesting story here coming from the Times. So I have actually just been sent this. I think we might want to go through this. So a mystery figure from the United Arab Emirates paid Manchester City £30 million to cover sums that were supposed to have come from their main sponsors, a leaked UEFA report has revealed. Shock, Manchester City have been cheating. Who's surprised at that? I'm sure nobody is surprised at that whatsoever. Stephanie as well is saying Eric Ten Hag might think he can mould Mount into a De Jong player. That's the only thing I can think of with this signing. And Big T says, would investors like Elliott Group team up with Radcliffe to put a bid in for 100% takeover? Neither want to miss out. Yeah, I do agree. I think what Radcliffe will think is, if he brings in Elliot, if he brings in Apollo, someone like that, he is talking about making a deal with the devil, so to speak. So I think he will not go for it. I think if Radcliffe wants a club, it's very simple. He's going to have to buy 100% of it, and we will see what happens now. I think the ball is very much in Sheikh Jassim's court, but Radcliffe still has plays to make. So what do we think might happen? I would be surprised if he goes to Elliot, because that means massive repayments. They will be looking a lot of money out of the deal, big profits. That's what they're here for. They make no apologies about it. They do not hide under thick ambition. So we know what Elliot will bring, we know what Apollo will bring, and those are people we absolutely need to keep out of Manchester United. Make no mistake about it. They will be as bad as the Glazer family. Make no mistake about that. If they come, because it will just be profits. They did try to take and sell the San Siro on AC Milan. They nearly ruined AC Milan as a club, so we do not want those guys whatsoever. And Jinma says, fun fact, Mount played on loan in the Eredivisie when Ten Hag was there. Yes, that is a fun fact, and Eric Ten Hag actually wanted to sign Mason Mount for Ajax on loan before he went to Vitesse in the Dutch league as well. And Trevor says, no, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is better and proven. Timber could be a flop. Thank you very much for the comments. I think Timber would come in as a centre-back, probably. So that's what I think would happen. Loads of comments in here actually as well. Sinkin is saying we need to sell Wan-Bissaka and get Timber. I think that's in relation to what the comment from Trevor was. I think you can have both. I do honestly think that. Something I do wonder, and I would like to ask you guys, so if you guys want to get your answers into the comments, because this is something that has changed throughout the season. At the start of last season, it was always Delo, then it was Wan-Bissaka, then it was Delo, then it was Wan-Bissaka again. If you guys had to pick one right back to start for Manchester United, who are you picking? Are you picking Delo, or are you going for Wan-Bissaka? Who do you think is the better fullback? Let me know in the comments, because I'm genuinely interested, because it can change. And we've seen Delo on top form last season at times, and he looked very good. We've seen Delo on poor form, and he looked very shaky. Wan-Bissaka, he did not play until after the World Cup, and he came back in, and he was absolutely superb in many matches for Manchester United. So let me know your thoughts on that one, guys. I am curious to know what you guys think in relation to the right back situation. I think left back is a lot more settled. It's going to be Luke Shaw. He will be the starter. For me, probably the best left back in the Premier League last season. I know that might be controversial for some Arsenal fans who love Zinchenko, but I do think Luke Shaw is at that level. And Stephanie is saying Wan-Bissaka, so thank you very much for that one, Stephanie. So anybody else, let me know your thoughts down below, and I will have a quick check as well for some of the latest news coming through, because there is always a lot of it, and it always seems to break when I'm on live here as well with you guys. So let me just double check all this stuff. So Jacob Steinberg saying Onana is well and truly on United's radar, and we are ramping up our attack for the player. We do seem to want Andre Onana. Big T says Wan-Bissaka, defenders should be all about defence. The midfield can get forward. Thank you very much for that. So that is 2 votes for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. If anybody else prefers Delo, let me know down below in the comments. Or will Wan-Bissaka be everybody's favourite right back? Let me see as well. Let me just pull this up. Looks like Mason Mount is being paid £250,000 per week, according to Matt Law of the Telegraph. And Lucky Singh is down there as well, full sale only. Thank you very much for that one, man. I do appreciate it. Yeah, so it does look like Man City are cheating again, and another charge has been brought up. So what are we talking? 116 now. Sinkin is down there. If you don't have input as an attacking fullback, then just be good at defending. It isn't enough, and he's taking Delo. Thank you very much for that one, man. I do appreciate that. Yeah, so not actually too much more stuff seems to be coming out. So we're going to open the floor up to you guys, because I'm just sort of looking at the news on Twitter there. So any more thoughts, guys, let me know in the comments as well. If there's anything you guys do want to talk about, get it down in the comments. Lucky and Satwant are both saying only Qatar, and Shepo is saying as well Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Thank you very much for the comments. You guys do seem to prefer Wan-Bissaka. I think, honestly, Wan-Bissaka does offer something very different than what Delo does. Now, I think Delo is very good in possession, but what does Wan-Bissaka give? You play Wan-Bissaka against any winger in the world, be it Mbappe, be it Neymar. We've seen him lock them all up. He genuinely is the best tackler in world football. And I think, as Ashid has said, I'm very happy with that. We got both of them. We have Delo for matches we want to build up. We have Wan-Bissaka when we want to lock a team down. So having different tools is a very good thing, and it's very good that United have that sort of difference. Stephanie is saying as well, in simple terms, can anyone explain FFP? Okay, I will have a go at it for anybody who is not aware. Let me have a check at this. So, in terms of financial fair play, it basically means a club cannot spend more money than what it earns. So that is basic premise of it. So it's trying to level up smaller teams, making it fair. So if United earn £200 million across the season, we can only spend up to £200 million. I think as well, what it comes down to is United will have these big debt repayments, big interest repayments, and we have a lot of overall transfers that we have not yet paid off. £300 million of unpaid transfer fees at the moment because we've been buying players on Klarna. So that's kind of a concern for Manchester United. So I think our budget has been limited. I think when we look at the financial results, United had a very good revenue, so a lot of money coming in. But in terms of overall spendability, I think we can only spend around half of the money we currently have at the moment. So that's a rough go, a rough go at FFP. There's a million different technicalities around it. It is so complicated that even UEFA cannot enforce it. Otherwise, Man City would have been kicked out of the Champions League several years ago. So there's a lot of different things going on with that. Dan is saying Club poorly run under the Glazer clowns. Absolutely. And yes, we have spent more than what we've sold. Completely true. Manchester United in the last 5 years have sold players for a combined £60 million. That's shocking. So honestly, it is from the top to the bottom, it is an absolute mess of a club. Hopefully with this ownership, we can see some progress. Hopefully with this ownership, we will move on to being a better club, being better run, having more money that we can spend and spending it wiser. It's not that United haven't spent money, make no mistake about it. No one is saying United have not spent money. We have spent £1.4 billion in the last 10 years. But could we have spent that money any worse? I honestly do not think so. I think United could not have wasted more money if we tried. Stephanie is saying, so the players' wages come into the FFP equation. I don't actually think so. I think that's a potential way around it. I think that's something that City have been doing as well. Some of it does now. Bonuses and stuff, because they're contingent on things, I do not believe they come into FFP, but I do think your overall wage bill probably does. So that's why you see Haaland get like £300,000 a week contract, and then like 50,000, 100,000 per goal he scores in a week, and then he gets appearance bonuses, things like that. There are ways you can bump it up, pay player more. I mean, at one point, according to these reports coming in from UEFA, Man City were playing Roberto Mancini in Ferrari cars and Gucci watches and clothes and stuff to try to get around it. So that's what they're trying to do. Trevor is saying McTominay can go to West Ham and Fred to Fulham. Thank you very much for that one. I do think more does probably need to go. Yusuf says more signings coming. Yes, does look like Andre Onana will be a Manchester United player for not gonna say for sure, but I'm gonna say soon. I think overall what we're looking at is Onana probably getting closer and closer to signing for Manchester United. I would expect the bid to go in very shortly. I do think that is something that could happen. Absolutely. And according to the reports, it's going to be €50 million. Sinkin is down there. I would turn McTominay into a centre back. He's got the height and physical aspects. Thank you very much for that one, man. I think Scotland have tried it. I don't think it's really worked out as well as maybe they would want it to have. But, I mean, crazier things have happened, I guess. But I don't know. I don't think McTominay as a centre-back is going to work for Manchester United. I just don't think that's going to be what we're going for. But, I mean, it's an interesting idea. And I'm sure Eric Ten Hag has considered all possible aspects of Manchester United, what we could end up doing, because the guy's going to have to be flexible and he's going to have to make things up on the fly. We're going to have to try new things, and that might be one of them. I mean, he did turn up to the new camp and play a Wout Weghorst in midfield, so there is potential for something like that, but I would be surprised. I think we're more likely to see a centre-back like Lindelof or Martinez come in and cover for Casemiro in midfield, as opposed to actually going out and playing McTominay at centre-back. I think that's more likely. As well, Mr. Phil says McTominay was a centre-forward before as well. Yes, he was a centre-forward as well. You're correct in saying that, man. I think it's really interesting. McTominay was actually quite short, and he actually was a centre-forward, and he came back from summer, and he had grown like 7 inches, and all of a sudden he's a midfielder now. So it was a big change for sure for McTominay. Let me see as well. More comments are going in down there. Elanga is not a Premiership player, says Trevor. Thank you very much for that one. I think Elanga is a good player, but I think, yeah, he's not United level. I think if he goes to Dortmund, that's a brilliant move for him because he probably will do well in the Bundesliga. High intensity, high work rate, and high lines where he can run in behind. It might be good for Anthony Elanga to go to Borussia Dortmund. Big T is well saying if he sent Maguire as a striker, who knows what Eric has in mind. And Gregory says, I think Onana is good for Manchester United because our coach, he knows him very well. Thank you for all the comments, guys. And yeah, I do agree with that. I agree with what Big T's saying. We could see some really interesting and inventive stuff. We've seen Pep Guardiola turn John Stones into a centre defensive midfielder, and it worked very well for City. Maybe we could do something as well like that. Let me just double check here. Yes, guys, so I actually just put it into the chat as well there. There is the membership link. At the moment, we only have Big T as a member, so we do appreciate you, Big T. So thank you very much for all that one, man. And for being a member on the channel, much appreciated. And if anybody else does want it, membership link is there. And Gio is down there. Thanks for the welcome. Yep, Lurgan, I like the channel. So thank you very much for that one as well, man. Hey, bye. If anyone's from the Northern Ireland, you will probably understand that reference as well. Stephanie is down there as well. Homegrown players ruling is also topical at the moment. Could McTominay be kept over Fred because of this? I think that's interesting. I think there's a lot of things we could do. We got Rashford, I guess. Sancho, that's going to be 2. Mason Mount, I guess that's 3 homegrown players, because I think it will go from nationalities and stuff as well. Because I think, obviously, the academy stuff as well, because Pogba was always counted as a homegrown player. So it's a good point. Big T says, Anthony as a number 10 is a possibility. He played there for his national team. And Sinkin says, first time here, bro. Thank you very much for that, Sinkin. I do appreciate it all, man. Really do appreciate everybody joining in with us. And Dan says, Van de Beek to Ajax. I think that could be a brilliant move for Van de Beek. It will bring him back to somewhere he feels comfortable. He will probably do well there. And I think that could be a very good move. I think what Big T is saying is interesting. Anthony at a number 10 position might be an interesting one. I think Sancho probably more likely. And Cody says, are we looking at a young American at the moment? I cannot remember the name. Do you know what's really annoying me, man? Whenever you say that, I'm pretty sure I did say that we were looking at a young American, and I cannot remember the name. Is it a goalkeeper? Because if it's a goalkeeper, I think it's Petkovic. But if it's an outfielder, I genuinely cannot remember the name whatsoever. Any more thoughts, guys? Get them down below. And Lucky is saying, has a football team he wants straight back away. Thank you very much for that one as well. Absolutely, we do want this football club back right away. That's going to be something massive for Manchester United. We're talking here as well. Eric Ten Hag is really anxious to get the Andre Onana deal over the line as quickly as possible. So that is coming from Andy Brazil, who writes for The Guardian and for TalkSport as well. So Eric Ten Hag, he wants to see Andre Onana as the goalkeeper next season. That's what he wants. That's what United wants. I think that's what we want for the most part. It does seem to be, Onana seems to be the people's choice at the moment. Do I think it's most likely? Yeah. Trevor is saying, I did like Donny, but it has not worked out. I do agree. I feel really bad for Donny, honestly. I mean, on one hand, he came into a team looking to take Bruno Fernandes's position, as well as that the injuries haven't helped. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't play him for a very long time at Manchester United, so I do kind of feel bad for Donny. I hope that if he does leave United, it works out for him somewhere else, and I genuinely wish him all the best in his career, because he has come. It's been disappointing, but he's never complained. He's never really kicked up a fuss. Let me see as well. Who have we got? Taylor something, young American guy. Taylor Booth, that's the one. Big T's just got it in there for you. Taylor Booth, I believe he was once at Ajax as well, currently playing for Utrecht. So I actually forgot that the guy was American. I thought he was Dutch for some reason. Stephanie says, Andre the Giant incoming. We do like we like a little wrestling reference on the show as well. Andre Onana, of course, could be the next goalkeeper and could be the next player. And Yusuf is saying, what's my name, Onana? Yep, that will definitely be the song. It is written itself. It is almost perfect for Manchester United. I think it's going to be a deal done very quickly, hopefully within the next couple of days. And we do actually have a small update as well. Alex Crook of TalkSport has said the £5 million in add-ons for Mason Mount is independent on winning silverware. So if United win a league title or a Champions League or some big trophy, I don't think we're going to care too much about paying an extra £5 million for Mason Mount. So I do not care too much about that. So obviously feeling very positive with this deal, feeling positive with the takeover, and feeling very positive with the transfer as a whole, because we are finally making the moves we need to. We are finally bringing in a goalkeeper, finally bringing in a striker and a midfielder, and we're going to get rid of the Glazer family. Could we ask for any more? Well, we know we will be asking for more as well. Stephanie says we should sell Alex Telles rather than loan. Absolutely. And I did actually see Benfica were looking to take Alex Telles on loan for a season and then sign him as a free agent. I mean, those guys can go get done. That's never going to happen. United, we should sell Alex Telles £5 to £10 million, get him off the books, get some money in, and buy some more players. That's what we want to see from Manchester United in the rest of this transfer window. Dan as well, Telles value as well, cash, no more loans. Absolutely. We don't want to see loans for guys in their mid to late 20s because there's no value in it. We want to sell these guys. That's what we have to do. No more loaning out the likes of Van de Beek or a Martial, a Telles, a Bailly. Let's go and sell those guys and bring somebody else in who will be better. That's my message for Manchester United. So if anyone at the club is watching, that's what we're telling. Mr. Phil says, honestly, what's happening with Bailly? I think it's an interesting one, man. I do think it's very strange what's happening with Eric Bailly. I think from reports, it looks like Real Betis would like to sign him, but they're only offering £2 million. So that's going to be interesting. And Big T says Bailly was linked to Saudi. Yep, that could be a move for Eric Bailly, a big money move to Saudi Arabia. His career is not going anywhere. Look, Eric Bailly came in. Honestly, the guy looked absolutely fantastic for Manchester United. Looked so good. But it's just never worked out. Let me see as well. Tesbo is saying, if it were me, I would leave Onana and go for Nicolo Barella and just sign De Gea. It's an interesting one, man. I love Barella as a player. I just think De Gea will be leaving, and I think at this stage he might not want to list. He might not even want to stay. The way the club has traded him over this whole taking the deal off the table and halving the already reduced wages. Let me see as well, because there was someone who did have an interesting point there. I think, yeah, Mr. Phil. So Mr. Phil's asking, why can United not sell players? The main reason why is Manchester United, we offer and we pay players so much money that it is almost impossible to ship them on. Like take Anthony Martial, for instance. Anthony Martial, we pay him around £200,000 per week. Jadon Sancho gets £350,000 per week. David De Gea was getting £375,000 per week. We were paying Ronaldo close to £500,000 a week. So I think that's why. I think that's genuinely why we are not selling players, is these guys have no real obligation to take a pay cut. Big T says Jimmy Vardy has turned down an offer from Saudi. Fair play to him. Yeah, I did see that. I think, yeah, I couldn't see Jimmy Vardy and his love for drinking Skittles vodka, I think it is, at night, going down too well, and stuff like that. I just think Vardy, honestly, I think he probably will retire at Leicester. Whether he retires now or whether he goes and retires at a later date, let's find out on that one. Let me see. Dan is saying, imagine we sign the Everton Onana. Yeah, I mean, that could be an interesting move. I like the player. I think if Everton went down, I would say absolutely go for Onana. I think he would cost a lot of money, but I think it would be an interesting one. Lucky is saying David De Gea is looking a move. It does look like David De Gea will be leaving. Absolutely correct. And finally, we got Big T. Have you seen the historical tweet from Maddison that has resurfaced, which he says he does not want Spurs? Lol. Yeah, absolutely. I did say that. I think it was something like, I hope Suarez destroys Spurs on the pitch. I really hate Spurs or something. Honestly, yeah, it is funny. Like, we look, the historical stuff comes up all the time. It is genuinely really funny stuff as well. I think there was a really old one as well. It's like Mason Mount as a 10-year-old player at Chelsea trying to be like Ronaldo. So maybe that's part of his thinking for joining United. I don't know, but I think he will be a good player coming in. Big T says, imagine the commentator Onana to Onana. It's almost as bad as if United were to play Martial, Elanga, and Anthony, because then we'd have the three Anthonys up front. That could be an interesting one for Martin Tyler, Gary Neville, and those guys to be calling out for sure. Cody as well saying, do we know how long Mount's contract is? Believe it is 5-year contract with the option for an extra year. I think that's what the overall package is. And Dan is saying, "What's your name, Onana?" Yep, that will be the song. Make no mistake about it. Any more thoughts, guys? Make sure to get them down into the comments as well. If you guys are new, please consider hitting the sub button. Really helps grow the channel as well. And if you really do want to support the channel in other ways as well, the membership link is in the channel, and you guys can join in with Big T. He is our one and only subscriber, and we do appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for all that. Let me see as well. Looks like Brozovic is going to Al Nassr. That's quite a team they're building for Cristiano Ronaldo. Maybe they're going to end up winning stuff. Brozovic, 100 million euros in his wages. I mean, I can see why players do want to go to Saudi Arabia. Make no mistake about it. Like, they want... How could you turn down that money? And it's tax-free as well, so it is crazy, honestly. Let me see as well. Arsenal have agreed a £40 million transfer with Ajax for Jurrien Timber. It's a shame we didn't go for that. I would have loved the player. I would have loved him at Manchester United. Would have made a real big difference. But we move on. I think genuinely we have the better Ajax centre-back out of the two. I think I wouldn't have took Timber over Martinez. So I'm very happy with the guy we got out of them. Big T says, fun fact, Son has become 1 year younger. That is true as well. I think that's something to do with South Korea, like, count babies as being one when they're born or something. I think that's the story. And Gregory is saying, I think now the midfield is okay if we're not selling Fred, but now it's time for us to look at a number 9. I do agree with that, man. I think the goalkeeping signing will come very quickly, and then all eyes turn to bringing in the striker or strikers, multiple, that we need. That's what we want to see. Whether it's going to be Hojlund and somebody else, whether it's going to be a Gonzalo Ramos, let's find out. I'm excited to see what happens. Hopefully some sales coming as well. Maguire, McTominay, Dean Henderson, guys like that can be sold, I think. Brandon Williams, Tellez, Bailly. There's a lot of players who can go and should go, in my opinion, and I'm looking forward to it. I think we're moving in the right direction for the first time in a long time in this transfer market in terms of United as well. For anyone who has not seen the news from Bloomberg regarding the takeover, basically, Jim Ratcliffe, they're saying his bid could be dead in the water because minority shareholders at Manchester United have threatened to sue the Glazer family if they sell to Radcliffe. That is the big one there. That is the big update with that one. Actually, comments are popping in as well. Cody is saying, scared for the selling process. As always, so am I. Mr. Phil says, I'm not worried about Timber. He personally refused to join United last summer. Dan says, United can be smart and get a free agent striker and go with Hojlund or Ramos. And Lucky Singh says McTominay wants a new adventure. Roma for 31 million. I know Jose Mourinho likes the player. Whether or not he goes for him this summer, I don't know. We will find out on that one. But I do think, yeah, I think those are two good points coming in there from Mr. Phil and Dan. We are looking for sure at a guy. Timber, he did turn us down last summer. As well as that, Dan is saying a free agent striker would be a smart signing. Whether or not the right guy is out there, I don't know. But I think if you bring in an experienced striker with a Hojlund or a Ramos, then all of a sudden you have two strikers who definitely can do well for Manchester United, and that will take the pressure off a younger striker's shirt. No doubt about it. Will be a lot less pressure on them to succeed, and I think that's nothing but a good thing. Big T says, do you have Lidl in Ireland? They've been selling orange ice cream lately. What's your thoughts on that? We actually, yeah, man, we do have Lidl's. We actually don't have Aldi, which is really confusing for a lot of people I know from England and stuff. So I haven't tried any of this orange ice cream. I will actually have a look for it, man. If you tell me the name of it, I will go have a look and I will give you a review. Don't worry about it, man. That can be the members exclusive stuff as well. So if you guys want to watch me eat some orange ice cream, you know what to do. Membership link is in the bio. Satwan says, Glazers out. Absolutely, man. Get rid of those guys. Cannot wait for them to be gone from this football club. It will be a lot better for Manchester United as a whole when they are gone. Let me just have a quick check at the poll because I can see we have hit 200 votes on the poll tonight. So, will Mount, Onana and Hojlund be enough? So you guys have been voting. The options were yes, no and sales are needed. In terms of yes, we have 40%, no, 41%, and 19% of you guys are saying we need to sell as well. So thank you very much for anyone who has voted as well as that. And for anyone new who has subscribed, thank you very much for joining in with us tonight. Guys, I'm going to leave the stream here. My voice is slowly going and we're going to leave before it totally goes. So thank you very much for watching, guys. And yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow for the next one. So guys, have a very good Friday, wherever you guys are doing. And I will see you tomorrow.